can see somebody getting it, if you can see somebody doing it, that means it's possible for you too. Hi family, it's a new month and a new video as promised. Today we are discussing limiting beliefs, and thank you to each and every one of you who engaged on my Instagram story, because your vote got us here and got us this topic. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs is a belief about yourself or a situation that restricts you from trying something or achieving your goals, right? For instance, they are caused by fear, for example, fear of the unknown. For instance, you could be holding back from starting something, starting your business, posting your content, because you're questioning yourself, you're questioning your abilities, you're scared of failure, you're asking yourself, what if people do not support me? What if my business fails? What if people don't like my content? The second example will be past experience. And past experience came a lot in my research. Most people are talking about how past experience pain is stored in your brain, and you might even forget the event, but subconsciously it affects your decisions as you grow up. For instance, not wanting to get married because as a child, in your childhood, you have experienced a toxic married couple. It might not be your parents, don't get me wrong here. It could be your neighbors, it could be just family members. But because you have witnessed this toxicity in a marriage, you believe marriage does not result in anything good. It's toxic. One of the two ends up being hurt by words or just being mistreated. Another example could be you had a scary encounter with an animal. Now you are scared of this animal even in your adulthood, or you hate the animal. So this is so personal to me because I have an example. So I was a primary kid coming back from home. I'm changing my uniform, and there's a rat running on our wardrobe rail. It was so fast and it was big. I think that was my first encounter with a rat. And I believe that left fear and trauma in my body that still to this day I hate rats. I am sorry, hate to say it's a strong word, but I cannot stand them. I'm scared of them. I even struggle just sleeping in a house that I know has a rat. I can't. Yeah, I can't. So I believe that is my past experience that left this limiting belief in me, that I don't see myself getting past it, which is not a good thing. But I'm scared of them. I despise them. Let's not talk about it. Let's move on. Let's move on. So these experiences form a shield in your brain to protect you from future pain, future similar pain, right? Limiting beliefs are subconscious, as mentioned, and often it takes some work to deal with them or change them. Now let's get into what kind of work this is. How to get to the root cause of your limiting beliefs. Firstly, you have to, just like I did, I went back into my childhood and I had to remember why I feel so strongly about rats. It didn't happen overnight. I don't even remember how I remembered why I hate rats, why I'm scared of them. But for the longest time, I did not understand why I can't stand them. So remembering that one event that happened made me aware of the root cause of this limiting belief that's holding me back from getting past the fear of rats, right? So the first thing you might want to do is to go back down your memory lane. You know your limiting beliefs. Just go back. Try to remember what could have happened. So for instance, another example would be, well, let's stick with the marriage one. You might just sit down. If you don't know, that's for somebody who, I mean, for some it's quite obvious. It's like, oh yeah, I grew up around toxic married people, so I don't want to be married. I don't even want kids because I have a toxic relationship with my mom. I don't want to treat my kids like that. So for some people it's that quick and obvious, but for some, just like mine, it was hidden in my subconscious brain. So you might want to dig, you might want to have to sit down and remember what could have happened. um, Sometimes it's even hard to remember, so you might want to ask somebody, like your parents or people you grew around, if something that holds you back could have happened before. For example, maybe with finances, you might want to ask, how was our financial situation at home? Because I was too young to even recall. Can you tell me how was it? So maybe then you might find the root cause of why maybe you can't manage your finances well, or you have a negative belief about finances, and as a result you don't deal with your finances in a healthy manner. After identifying these things, because now you are grown, be logic about it. Be honest with yourself. Do you truly believe there is only this one way to this thing? By one way, I mean how you believe. And you could ask yourself, is marriage really that bad, or is it just my decision or my reasoning right now is just influenced by my past experience? But is it really bad? I mean, from then till now, I'm sure you have witnessed happy couples, right? I'm sure you have come across happy married and healthy married couples. So if you're being logic, you have to face both sides. You can still end up deciding, no, I'm still saying no to marriage. But what I want you to face here is the fact that marriage is not just completely bad. There is good sides to it. And if you want to find out, if you want to kind of heal from the trauma that you have that caused your limiting belief about marriage, you might ask or do research about how healthy marriage couple sustain their marriage, or what do they do differently as opposed to this experience you witnessed as a child. After you have identified and thought logically about um, your limiting belief, where it could have come from, then you have to sit down, right? This is where you are being logic about it. You have to sit down and create a positive opposing side or scenario of this situation you believe about yourself. So you have the negative belief, but the positive does exist. Now compare the two. Let yourself know and understand that there is a positive side to this thing. For instance, you grew up hearing bad remarks about money, how scarce it is, how there was just never enough, and you end up now struggling with your finances in your adulthood because subconsciously you believe there's never enough money, there can never be enough money. You grew up hustling and trying, and you believe that that's the only thing you know, so that's the only way you will survive, right? But here's what you can do also. In this scenario, think about your friend who has their finances in order, who gets their finances correct, right? Ask this person, how do they do it? Ask them, no, please, before you do that, before you create another excuse, or you might say, nah, I know he comes from a well-off family, don't do that, don't do that. No, we are not doing that. We are staying positive and we are looking for solutions here, right? So you're going to ask this friend, in this scenario, you're going to ask this friend how they get it right. He might just share with you what they have read, what they watch, who they listen to, and what they were taught about money. Now, you found out about these things. You found out about this book. You found out about this YouTube channel that he probably watches. That now, because you've done the step, you can go and read whatever he read, watch whatever he watched. He shared with you tips on how what he was taught. Take those tips and utilize them. Do you understand? Already you are breaking that limiting belief about finances in your life. You are learning something new. You are allowing yourself to unlearn what you have always known. Now you have this new information. What you do with it is what determines your future. In the next step, I would like to believe that you're going to choose the positive side of it. You're going to learn from your friend. You're going to look into the things they told you about, and you're actually going to practice them. So your limiting beliefs of finances change right there and then, and you become a better person, right? Don't you believe that? It's all just, I believe it's in the willingness of doing things and trying things and asking people for help and asking people to share their tips. It's also in the willingness to unlearn and learn new things, and it's the mindset, because before you do all of that, your mindset has to be set on the goal. You have to be willing to learn and be positive about it. Believe that what you're learning is going to be of a good cause for you. I came across this saying somewhere. I think it was on a YouTube channel or a podcast, I don't know, but it goes something like this: your beliefs of what you can achieve is limited to what you are exposed to, right? And this simply means, for instance, you grew up in a town where the only most expensive car, this is an example, would be a Toyota Buggy, and you believe you want to achieve that. Your goals is to one day also have that Buggy. It's the best thing you are exposed to. Now you are done with your matric and you're moving out of your village, you come into a city, and you're exposed to Range Rover. Wherever you are, you're exposed to a Range Rover and you're like, what? This car exists? Then you start believing, because you see it, it means it's achievable for you as well, right? So I really hope I'm making sense, and I hope I am awakening somebody to also break out of their box. Allow yourself to look outside, see what people are attaining, people are achieving. Look outside, allow yourself to learn, to see what's possible, and tell yourself, start believing that if you can see somebody getting it, if you can see somebody doing it, that means it's possible for you too. If your mindset is like that, I believe a lot of things are going to change. I believe you're going to achieve. I really believe and hope for good things to happen after this, because your mindset has shifted. I want you to challenge yourself and do a bit of research about positive beliefs that oppose your limiting beliefs. You can do that here on YouTube. There are podcasts. You can even search affirmations on Pinterest. You can read or ask people, like I just advised. And my husband once said, the world is bigger than where you are. It's so much bigger than where you are. You're just a seed in this world. And there's so much you can get exposed to. There's so much that you can achieve only if you open yourself up to moving, to learning, to unlearning. Right? Don't limit yourself from reaching your full potential. Seek help if you need to. If you need to heal from all these past experiences that could have caused your limiting belief, speak to a therapist if you have to. Speak to a therapist, because I believe some people do not believe or see potential in themselves because of what they were told growing up. Some people are still healing from wounds of being told how not good enough they were. And it hurts me to say that I do know some people who were spoken down to by their parents. So now you can imagine how damaging that is. So sometimes you do need to heal, even if they never apologize for breaking your spirit. Seek a therapist. Heal. It's possible to heal and create new beliefs. Believe that you are something. Don't just allow somebody's words to make you believe that you don't have a purpose in this world. Why were you born? God brought all of us here for a reason. You have a reason, and I believe it's a good one. So seek a therapist if you have to heal. Pray away your fears. The Lord also, the word says, we can move mountains. But unfortunately, we can only do that if we have faith and if we believe we can. So it starts with you, your mindset, what you believe you can achieve. I really hope today, my family, that this message has touched at least one person, right? And for it to reach more people, I'm gonna need you to help me with this one and share my YouTube channel, share this video's link, like, comment, and stay connected with me. This is not a goodbye.